The Gospel of Thomas is not a literal gospel. It's 114 sayings of Jesus. Number 1, and he said, whoever finds the meaning of these words will not taste death. Number 2, Jesus says, the one who seeks should not cease until he finds. And when he finds, he will be dismayed. And when he is dismayed, he will become astonished. And he will be king over the all. Number 3, Jesus says, if those who lead you say to you, look, this kingdom is in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you. If he says to you, it is in the sea, then the fishes will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you and outside of you. When you come to know yourselves, then you will be known, and you will realize that you are the children of the living Father. But if you do not come to know yourselves, then you exist in poverty, and you are poverty. Number 4, Jesus says, the person old in his days will not hesitate to ask a child 7 days old about the place of life, and he will live. For many who are first will become last, and they will become a single one. Number 5, Jesus says, come to know what is in front of you, and that which is hidden from you will become clear to you, for there is nothing hidden that will not become manifest. Number 6, his disciples questioned him, and they said to him, do you want us to fast? And how shall we pray and give alms? And what diet should we observe? Jesus says, do not lie, and do not do what you hate, for everything is disclosed in the view of the truth. For there is nothing hidden that will not become revealed, and there is nothing covered that will remain undisclosed. Number 7, Jesus says, blessed is the lion that a person will eat, and the lion will become human. And anathema is the person whom a lion will eat, and the lion will become human. Number 8, and he says, the human being is like a sensible fisherman who cast his net into the sea and drew it up from the sea filled with little fish. Among them, the sensible fisherman found a large, fine fish. He threw all the little fish back into the sea and chose the large fish effortlessly. Whoever has ears to hear should hear. Number 9, Jesus says, look, a sower went out. He filled his hands with seeds, and he scattered them. Some fell on the path, and the birds came and pecked them up. Others fell on the rock and did not take root in the soil, and they did not put forth ears. And others fell among the thorns. They choked the seeds, and worms ate them. And others fell on good soil, and it produced good fruit. It yielded 60 per measure and 120 per measure. Number 10, I have cast fire upon the world, and see, I am guarding it until it blazes. Number 11, Jesus says, the heaven will pass away, and the heaven above it will pass away, and the dead are not alive, and the living will not die. In the days when you consumed what was dead, you made it alive. When you are in the light, what will you do? On the day when you were one, you became two. But when you became two, what will you do? Number 12, the disciples said to Jesus, we know that you will depart from us. Who then will rule over us? Jesus said to them, no matter where you came from, you should go to James the just, for whose sake heaven and earth came into being. Number 13, Jesus said to his disciples, compare me and tell me who I am like. Simon Peter said to him, you are like a just messenger. Matthew said to him, you are like an especially wise philosopher. Thomas said to him, teacher, my mouth cannot bear all to say whom you are like. Jesus said, I am not your teacher, for you have drunk, you have become intoxicated at the bubbling spring that I have measured out. And he took him and withdrew and said these 3 words to him. But when Thomas came back to his companions, they asked him, what did Jesus say to you? Thomas said to them, if I tell you one of the words he said to me, you will pick up stones and throw them at me, and fire will come out of the stones and burn you up. Number 14, Jesus said to them, if you fast, you will bring forth sin for yourselves. If you pray, you will be condemned. And if you give alms, you will do harm to your spirits. And if you go into any land and wander from place to place, and if they take you in, then eat what they will set before you. Heal the sick among them. For what goes into the mouth will not defile you. Rather, what comes out of your mouth will defile you. Number 15, Jesus says, when you see one who was not born of woman, fall on your face and worship him. That is your Father. Jesus says, perhaps people think that I have come to cast peace upon the earth. But they do not know that I have come to cast decision upon the earth, fire, sword, war. For there will be 5 in one house. There will be 3 against 2 and 2 against 3, father against son and son against father, and they will stand as solitary ones. Jesus says in 17, I will give you what no eye has seen, and what no ear has heard, and what no hand has touched, and what has not occurred to the human mind. Number 18, the disciple said to Jesus, tell us how our end will be. Jesus said, have you already discovered the beginning that you are now asking about the end? For where the beginning is, the end will soon be too. Blessed is he who stands at the beginning, and he will know the end, and he will not taste death. Number 19, Jesus says, blessed is he who was before he came into being. If you become disciples of mine and listen to my words, these stones will serve you. For you have 5 trees in paradise that do not change during the summer and winter, and leaves do not fall. Whoever comes to know them will not taste death. Number 20, the disciple said to Jesus, tell us whom the kingdom of heaven is like. He said to them, it is like a mustard seed. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it falls on cultivated soil, it produces a large branch and becomes shelter for the birds of the sky. Number 21, Mary said to Jesus, whom are your disciples like? He said, they are like servants who are entrusted with a field that is not theirs. When the owners of the field arrive, they will say, let us have our field. But when they are naked in their presence, so as to let them have it, and thus to give them their field. Number 5 says, that is why I say, when the master of the house learns that his thief is about to come, he will be on guard before he comes, and will not let him break into his house, his domain, to carry away his possessions. But you, be on guard against the world. Gird your loins with great strength, so that the robbers will not find a way to get to you. For the necessities which you wait for longing for will be found. There ought to be a wise person among you. When the fruit was ripe, he came quickly with his sickle in his hand, and he harvested it. Whoever has ears to hear should hear. Number 22. Jesus saw infants being suckled. He said to the disciples, these little ones being suckled are like those who enter the kingdom. They said to him, then will we enter the kingdom of the little ones? Jesus said to him, when you make the 2 into one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, that is, to make the male and the female into a single one, so that male will not be male and female will not be female. And when you make eyes instead of an eye, and a hand instead of a hand, and a foot instead of a foot, an image instead of an image, then you will enter the kingdom. Number 23, Jesus says, I will choose you from 1,000 and 2 from 10,000, and they will stand as a single one. Number 24, his disciples said, show us this place where you are, because it is necessary for us to seek it. He said to them, whoever has ears should hear. Light exists inside of a person of light. He shines on the whole world. If he does not shine, there is darkness. Number 25, Jesus says, love your brother like your life. Protect him like the apple of your eye. Number 26, Jesus says, you see the splinter that is in your brother's eye, but you do not see the beam that is in your own eye. When you remove the beam from your own eye, then you will see clearly enough to remove the splinter from your brother's eye. Number 27, if you do not abstain from the world, you will not find the kingdom. If you do not make the Sabbath into a Sabbath, you will not see the Father. Number 28 says, I stood in the middle of the world. In flesh I appeared to them. I found all of them drunk. None of them did I find thirsty. And my soul ached for the children of humanity, because they are blind in their heart, and they cannot see. For they come into the world empty, and they seek to depart from the world empty. But now they are drunk. But when they shake off their wine, they will change their mind. Number 29. If the flesh came to being because of the spirit, it is a wonder. But if the spirit came into being because of the body, it is a wonder of wonders. Yet I marvel at how such great wealth has taken up residence in poverty. Number 30. Jesus says, where there are 3 gods, there are gods. Where there are 2 or 1, I am with him. Jesus says in 31, no prophet is accepted in his own village. A physician does not heal those who know him. Number 32, Jesus says, a city built upon a high mountain and fortified cannot fall, nor can it be hidden. Number 33, Jesus says, what you will hear with your ear, with the other ear, proclaim from your rooftops. For no one lights a lamp and puts it under a bushel, nor does he put it in a hidden place. Rather, he puts it in a lampstand, so that everyone who comes in and goes out will see the light. Number 34, Jesus says, if a blind person leads a blind person, both will fall into a pit. Number 35, Jesus says, it is not possible for someone to enter the house of a strong person and take it by force unless he binds his hands. Then he will loot his house. Number 36, Jesus says, do not worry from morning to evening and from evening to morning about what you will wear. Number 37, his disciple says, when will you appear to us and when will we see you? Jesus said, when you undress without being shamed and take off your clothes and put them under your feet like little children and trample them. Then you will see the Son of the Living One and you will not be afraid. Number 38, Jesus says, many times you desired to hear these words, these that I am speaking to you, and you have no one else from whom to hear them. There will be days when you seek me, and you will not find me. Number 39, Jesus says, the Pharisees and the scribes have received the keys of knowledge, but they have hidden them. Neither have they entered, nor have they allowed to enter those who wish to. You, however, will be shrewd as serpents and innocent as doves. Number 40, Jesus says, a grapevine was planted outside the vineyard of the Father, and since it is not supported, it will be pulled up by its roots and will perish. Number 41, Jesus says, whoever has something in his hand, something more will be given to him, and whoever has nothing, even the little he has, will be taken from him. Number 48, Jesus says, become passers-by. Number 43, his disciples said to him, who are you to say this to us? You do not realize from what I say to you who I am, but you have become like the Jews. They love the tree, but they hate its fruit, or they love the fruit, but they hate the tree. Number 44, Jesus says, whoever blasphemes against the Father, it will be forgiven to him, and whoever blasphemes against the Son, it will be forgiven to him. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit, it will not be forgiven him, neither on earth nor in heaven. Number 45, Jesus says, grapes are not harvested from thorns, nor figs from pickled thistles, for they do not produce fruit. A good person brings forth good from his treasure. A bad person brings forth evil from his bad treasures that is in his heart, and in fact he speaks evil. For out of the abundance of the heart he brings forth evil. Number 46, Jesus says, from Adam to John the Baptist, among those born of women, there is no one who surpasses John the Baptist, so that John's eyes need not be downcast. But I have also said, whoever among you becomes little will know the kingdom and will surpass John. Number 47, Jesus says, it is impossible for a person to mount 2 horses and stretch 2 bows, and it is impossible for a servant to serve 2 masters, else he will honor the one and insult the other. No person drinks old wine and immediately desires to drink new wine. A new wine is not put into old wineskins, so that they do not burst, nor is old wine put into new wineskins, so that it does not spill out. An old patch is not sewn onto a new garment, because a tear will result. Number 48, Jesus says, if 2 makes peace with one another in one and the same house, then they will say to the mountain, move away, and it will move away. Number 49, Jesus says, blessed are the solitary ones, the elect, for you will find the kingdom. For you will come from it, and you will return to it. Number 50, Jesus says, if they say to you, where do you come from? Then you say to them, we have come from the light, the place where the light has come into being by itself, has established itself and appeared in their image. If they say to you, is it you? Then say, we are his children. We are the elect of the living Father. If they ask you, what is your sign of your Father among you? Then say to them, it is movement and response.